Hey everyone, I'm Lyle Burks with the Viking Speaks. And this is the 48 Laws of Power. Hey everyone, it's Lyle Burks with the Viking Speaks. This is day 43 of the 90-day video challenge. This is the 48 Laws of Power, Law 8. Make other people come to you and use bait if necessary. This quote is, when you force other people to act, you are the one in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in the process. Lure him with fabulous gains, then attack. You hold the cards. So in this law, he talks about the infamous Napoleon Bonaparte. And at the height of his power, his enemies and prior comrades turned against him. And eventually they sent him to the island of Elba. Now, in this turn of events, everybody brought together the Council of Europe, and they started to discuss, post-Napoleon, how things would go. It got so heated at one point that the Russian Tsar at the time actually got pretty crazy when he didn't get the piece of Poland that he wanted, and he threatened to set Napoleon free in an effort to get his way. So anyway, long story short, you move into Napoleon on Elba. Now, one time he eventually did escape. There was a fleet of British ships surrounding the island, and somehow Napoleon did eventually get away on a ship garnered with 900 men. And instead of going elsewhere, he went back to France. So eventually he took back to France, and prior supporters who eventually saw once he was there, they joined his side and they took over the capital, and the prior king the king who took his place after Napoleon departed fled the country. So his name had done quite a bit, his reputation preceded him, and he was able to gain power. It took a little over 100 days, though, when an already exhausted France pushed back into war, no money, no resources, and no backing, eventually failed. And this time, Napoleon was done for good. They sent him to a further away island. I think it was off the coast of Africa, if I'm not mistaken. And he was done. Now, his undoing was actually by one of his former comrades, Talleyrand. Talleyrand had long ago been done with Napoleon and actually despised what he was doing and everything about his plans, his quest for world domination. So Talleyrand set himself apart, and initially he knew that he couldn't control the situation if he went out there and pushed hard to get Napoleon taken to a further destination right out of the gate. When they didn't listen and they sent him to Elba, he played the long game. And so rather than run all over the place and everything, he allowed Napoleon to come to him. He set up the ship. He orchestrated everything so that Napoleon would get out of there, and he also orchestrated the rumors that got to Napoleon. Napoleon had this tiny little court on his island of a cook, a seamstress, a few other things, a very small band of folks that gave him some sort of a humorous sense of power, and it was more degrading than anything prior to considering his prior court that he had. So this court got word about Napoleon being more popular in France, and that if he only returned, he would be welcomed with open arms and he would get his entire empire back, right? So I can't remember exactly if the rumors were, if the court was working for Talleyrand or not, but the rumors came from him. And so somehow the court got hold of him and got them to Napoleon. Well, Napoleon, being who he was, he thought, I'm Mr. Big Shot here. I'm going to go ahead and go back and reclaim my throne and live all my glory again. It's going to be great. Meanwhile, Talleyrand is sitting in the back, pulling the strings. So he gets out there and he sets the bait for the mouse. Napoleon was the mouse. He came, he took the bait, and he did away with himself as a result. He exhausted the resources. All of his enemies eventually overtook him, and the country was rid of Napoleon Bonaparte for good at that point, all due to Talleyrand's patience and forcing the once great Napoleon to take the bait, fall for the trap, and become his own undoing. So, as with any of the laws, use extreme caution when trying to execute this kind of plan. If it's found out, it could have catastrophic backlash. So, I actually don't have any personal experience or anything in this one, so no additional notes here, but that's all I got for today, y'all. So stay tuned tomorrow for Law 9. Much love. Bye now.